Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining today. We're going to talk about down to earth and sustainability in FM. So we want you to join us. Drop a line in the chat. Let us know where you are watching us from. And we will also want to know kind of what your role is at your current position. And then question and answers at the end. But if something comes up during our presentation, please feel free to chat it out. We're also on our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to like us because this way we can get this out to other FMs like yourself. Joining me today is Kim Coffey, and we will be moderating today's webinar. All of our folks behind the scenes are also joining us to help us run everything. Diana Tabor is here, and then David Gill, and then Daniela also.
That's right. And today it is down to earth. We're talking about sustainability. So here are the people. There's a lot of people here to help support you from IFMA. And we're very excited about the topic today because we felt like it's timely, right, Gail? We have Earth Day tomorrow. Earth Day. So sustainability really impacts our planets. First thing, however, is we want to ask you a question on Slido. So thank you, Daniela. The question here, and you can join in the conversation from your computer or your phone. Just go to slido.com, put in the number that you see there. Where do you and your organization stand with sustainable strategies? So your options are, we're struggling with where to begin. A lot of people are in that area. Haven't started, but ready to learn more, which hopefully those of you who are here are in that area. Drafting plans as we speak. If that's you, we definitely would love your input at the end when we do Q&A. And then building is already certified, or what was that? If you can scroll down, Daniela, a little bit.
Or sustainable.
Building is already certified or sustainable. Okay, so those are the options. If you will go ahead and let's participate as we start going through. We'll pull up the results a little bit later in the presentation.
Yes.
So a little bit about IFMA. IFMA has been around since 1980. We have helped define facility management. There are more than 20,000 members globally and growing. We are committed to advancing FM worldwide. We have information on current and emerging trends, training. The big part is networking with your peers and other experts so that you can manage your facilities better, which helps to advance the profession, which again, not only is it growing with the number of individuals, but also continues to grow in complexity as more and more is being put on the FM.
Yes. All right. So I know the slide looks very busy, but as FMs, you know, this is the day of your life. We also wanted to show you how multifaceted sustainability and facility management is. And this does a really great job of kind of showcasing and highlighting some of those key points. Whenever you are thinking of sustainability and the sustainable practices, your first thought is saving the environment, but we also want you to kind of start switching gears to letting you know that FMs are also trying to learn and grow and help to manage all of this better. So we've asked that you look at yourself and then look at your role and start thinking, how can I start to make changes in my organization to help our footprints in the environment?
That's right. Sustainability and facility management is you. It starts with FMs, and we can really make a huge change. So we go to the next slide. We're going to see the global impacts of facilities. Yeah, let's rest on this slide for a moment. So the amount of resources that are being consumed and the waste that's being produced is massive. Because if you think about just the square footage of facilities, that is also massive. So FMs truly are agents of change, and this is where we can make a huge impact. Think about the primary systems and the impacts to climate change. This impacts the air quality, which impacts health. There's so much in terms of water and weather. Just managing our resources is going to be critical as we move forward.
And I also wanted to say before we switch to that slide, with building automations, you need highly trained FMs to help run those. And when you have that, you're increasing your efficiencies and optimizing your resource management.
That's right. Oh, and we're starting to see folks that are letting us know where they're coming in from. So please keep that coming.
Can we
Is
check
this,
on the,
I was
oh, go
going to
ahead.
say, is this the point where we can check in on slido.com, Daniela? All right, drafting plans as we speak, and building is already certified. And then we're also struggling. And I have a feeling that there are going to be some people that join us or maybe join us after this has been recorded and watching the recording that hasn't started yet and they're ready to learn more. So let's keep on going. We got a lot of info to share.
So that is the next question, right? Where do we start? The first thing is to start like asking your company, what's your company culture? Do you support this? Do they support it and you're just not aware of it? Do you use a balanced scorecard, or are KPIs tied to sustainable practices that your company or your building already does? And then you also want to look at, how do you measure and define success when you're looking into sustainable practices?
Exactly. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So,
Exactly.
does your company already have that in place? Are there metrics that you can use? As you're looking at this, the next thing that we want you to kind of look at is the self-assessment of how strong are you as a facility manager in the foundations of facility management. To affect any change, it's important that you have the skill set in place to manage projects, to manage building assessments, and to be able to start putting together not only measuring what is your consumption of energy right now, but what can you do when you put different items in place to make changes. You need to measure how successful have those changes been, and that all comes down to having those strong foundations in your FM skills. And then the next question is, and we're all interested in this, are you ready to learn more about sustainability?
So we do offer through IFMA membership a great amount of resources. We have the knowledge library, which could be anything available at your fingertips. We also have the Engage forum. And then we have live streams and research. Kim, do you want to expand on what
Mhm.
that is?
I do. So sustainability and energy management consist of 5 of the 7 emerging FM trends. So we've got smart buildings, of course, that's an emerging trend, healthcare, which thanks to the pandemic, we're aware of more than ever what role the facility plays in keeping the occupants healthy, and then also BIM, or Building Information Management Systems. So IFMA's looking at all of those to be able to bring you additional great content and information that you can learn from within your membership and the resources there. But I'd also, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself on a slide, the networking that you have with other members is going to be crucial as well. So IFMA membership, because as we said when we introduced who IFMA is to you, if you're not familiar with us, we are all about advancing the profession, and sustainability should play a massive role in what you're doing. It should at least impact how you're operating and maintaining those facilities.
And then we'll jump right into our sustainability course. So this is one of our standalone courses, and it covers the concepts of sustainability. You'll see there it covers water, energy, waste, and a couple of other things. With this particular standalone course, you will receive upon completion a digital badge. We also have printed material available. And then once you earn, or once you've purchased your license, you will have a PDF version available as well.
So before we move from this slide, exactly how Gail mentioned the concepts that you're going to be learning, this takes about 5 hours to complete. It's a great course to come in and learn more about the concepts of facility sustainability in your facility. Sustainability, it runs all through our lives, right? It's things that we can do with our own homes, with how we live our lives. What does it mean when it's applied to the facilities? This course will help you understand. You get continuing education units, but it's only 5 hours to go through, depending on your comprehension rate. So we definitely recommend this. If you're ready to dip your toes into sustainability with your facility, this is a great place to start.
And then we have a quote from Patrick Okumura. He has been instrumental in helping set the standard for sustainability in practices because it's been developed it's been developed by FMs for FMs, and it provides FMs with the knowledge and resources to execute, deliver, and maintain sustainable buildings.
Exactly. So this quote from Patrick was pulled in because there's a whole team of people that create IFMA's course materials that will help review it. We, include subject matter experts. We have instructional designers. There's a lot of research and science behind our course curriculum, and especially as we look at a credential, because the credential holds value in the marketplace in your career, and it is developed by FMs for FMs. It's not Gail and I sitting down together and saying,
Nope.
here's what we think. This is what you need to know. It's a little bit more involved than that. And so if we go to the next slide, you'll be able to learn more about what does it involve. Well, there's 3 different focus areas in this particular credential. I want to, before I go into those details, mention the sustainability course is a great place to dip your toes in. It's going to set you up as you come into the credential. And if you do purchase that sustainability course, real quick, you'll get credit for that if you decide to move forward with your credential. So I don't want you to feel like you're having to pay for information twice. It's going to move you forward into here where you're going to look at strategy and alignment for sustainable FM, and then managing sustainable facilities and operating sustainable facilities. There is a lot of great information in here. This is training, y'all. This isn't just a review of what you may already know. It will get you a lot of information, a lot of standards, and to help you be able to do those assessments on your buildings. What are they consuming right now? And then what are some of the different changes that you can make when you're managing and operating, and then doing another assessment and being able to show the difference. So Gail, what do they get? Go ahead and walk them through this course as well.
So this is a lifelong credential. So once you've completed the final assessments for each of the focus areas, apply for your credential, it's yours. You don't have to do anything to maintain it. You don't have to recertify. This is something that you get to walk away showing that you took that further step in getting training. It does include a digital flip book. It does include a PDF version of the materials so that you have everything that you need right there at your fingertips to earn this credential.
That's right. And that last bullet point aligns with 46 federal building performances. So if you are running a federal building, the government says you've got to understand how to do it. And so that's some of what they require you to know. And then speaking of federal, here's the public sector.
So Europe is ahead of us. We're just now coming into this, but government buildings have always been huge on sustainable practices. So they're already there. But a way to advance in your career, if you become an SFP, you take that dive. Say your company is looking for, to hire somebody who is an expert in sustainable practices. You might be that next step because you've already jumped into the SFP or even just the sustainability course. You're setting yourself up to be that expert that your company can lean on, which is a great aspect to put yourself into because you'll be right there ready to answer questions and help teach them what you just learned in your course.
That's right. On this page, there's 2 resources listed. There's a sustainable facilities tool for under GSA, and then also Office of Federal High Performance Green Buildings. And those are additional resources that you can go into and learn more about what different standards are. These green building and greening policies are becoming more deeply embedded in federal law and policy. And we know that that will tend to set standards that the private sector also will follow. So it just makes sense as this becomes more and more critical in what organizations are having to meet the different standards. If let's say that you're part of a net zero carbon emission commitment by 2030 or by 2040, a lot of what you're doing as a facility manager for your facilities is going to impact that, and you're going to be asked to contribute to it and to have a plan ready to go to make those changes. So we just want to help you get a little bit ahead of that curve.
Exactly.
So how does IFMA support you? One thing that I would like to make clear, because we just talked about our credential and our course, you do not have to be an IFMA membership. It is not required to be a member in order to get any of IFMA's credentials or to take any of our training. But because we are dedicated and committed to the profession, for our members, we do have additional resources. So you're not going it alone. We have a new community in Engage. It's our Engage platform where you can interact with other folks like yourself who are on the path to learning and acquiring their SFP. For this particular platform, you do have to be a member, but I think you'll find if you look into IFMA membership, there's a lot of benefits that really provide the value of what that annual membership fee is. In Pathfinding, here's a quick graphical representation of what IFMA offers. If you go to our course catalog, we have a lot of great courses. These focus on helping you achieve a great deal of specific information. So Essentials is not a credential, but it will be perfect for those just coming into the profession. So if you've joined this and you are interested in learning more just in general about facility management, I recommend the Essentials. If you've been working in a facility, operating and maintaining it for at least a year, and you're ready to build on that foundation, that's where the FMP comes into play. The SFP, you'll see it comes after the FMP. There's no requirements to start studying for your SFP, but the material is very challenging and it assumes a certain level of experience and knowledge. If you go back to a previous slide when we talked about what do you need in order to really look at being sustainable, we recommend you have a firm grasp on the foundation for being a facility manager. The SFP will make a whole lot more sense then. And then for those of you with at least 5 years of experience in being an FM, the CFM is our certification. There's no training required for it. It's just you have to meet the eligibility requirements. And if you check out our YouTube channel, we have a Demystifying the CFM presentation available. So if that's where you're leaning toward, please check that out and feel free to ask us questions afterward.
I did want to mention before we switch over that all of our credentials, so the FMP, the SFP, and the CFM, are ANSI accredited. So whether you go through IFMA or you choose somewhere else to go to get training, you do want to make sure that it is accredited. That is pretty standard because you want to make sure that all the information that is reviewed in the learning matches what you're actually learning. So ANSI provides an unbiased review of the information to ensure that what you're tested on is actually what you learned. And it also helps protect the integrity of the company who's providing it. So just want to give that little tidbit too.
That's right.
And then because you joined us today, we do want to let you take advantage of that by offering 2 of our discount codes. You can save $50 on the Essentials bundle or any of our individual standalone competency courses. And then you could save $100 off the SFP or the FMP bundle, or if you bundle all of the 7 standalone courses together as well. Kim mentioned earlier that if you do start with the sustainability standalone course and realize dipping your toes is not for you, you're ready to take the dive into the pool and you choose to go with your SFP, we will do dollar for dollar match on that as well. And then these codes are good through the end of April.
Yep. And a reminder too, you don't have to be a member to receive these discounts, but I do want to let you know that you will see full member rate and non-member rate. So we are actually hoping to encourage you to become a member and get that member rate and still have these additional savings as well. There's a lot of resources with the association to help support you and help you be successful in your role. And
exactly.
That concludes the presentation portion of today's webinar. We've got some very helpful links here for you. If you have any specific questions and you're not comfortable putting that in the chat for the world to see, send us an email at corporateconnections@ifma.org, and we will be more than happy to help you out and to arrange a meeting to where we can have a conversation just one-on-one, or if you have a very specific question, we can answer it via email. Either way works for us.
Yes, and I did want to mention that we do offer group pricing. So if you have a group of 2 or more members, I say members, 2 or more people, feel free to hit us up. There is a monetary discount for that as well. We can offer pricing adjustments.
All right, so we are ready to take some questions and answers. So David's going to pop back on. Hi, David.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Good.
Okay. So one of the most common questions we get is who should become a sustainability facility professional?
I say everybody, but that's just me. But it's going to be like what Kim mentioned earlier. Those who have a solid foundation in the fundamentals of FM, this is pretty much your next step in earning your training, becoming an SFP, so that you can understand the sustainable practices, how to manage and operate sustainably.
Absolutely. I'm with Gail. I think all FMs, the more you know, the more change you can effect.
Absolutely. Another common question that we get is how long does it take to complete the SFP?
That's
so on
really
average,
good.
oh, go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you answer that.
Answer everything. On average, it takes about 20 hours to get through each focus area. It depends on how easily you retain and comprehend what you're reading. Like Kim mentioned earlier, again, the sustainability course just dips your toes into it. The SFP actually goes full force into the practices. So it's going to be a lot meatier to get through.
Yeah, if you think about it, the sustainability course, I said on average 5 hours to get through the material and then be able to take the assessment, the final assessment. If you have 3 focus areas, which you do in the SFP, that's about 50 to 60 hours. And it can't be done in 1 week. So I don't want anybody thinking, I'll just take a week's vacation. I'm going to get through the SFP. You need time to be able to process and get the information down, right, to learn it. So one piece of advice that I would have for anybody going through any training program as an adult learner, set a schedule, because procrastination is going to be your biggest enemy. Time will fly by so quickly. We do give you 2 years of access to the material, but I say set a goal to get this done in 6 to 9 months, because the goal is not just to get your SFP, but to be able to learn the information in the SFP program and apply it to your job and begin making a difference as soon as possible. And you'll only do that by getting through the material and learning
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another question that we get is, my building is already LEED certified. Will the SFP help me?
It's a great question. Gail?
So yes, the SFP is designed to help you operate buildings sustainably, whether they're certified or not, and whether you're certified or not. This again, we can't say this enough. It sets the foundation of sustainable practices for you to understand and incorporate those into your daily routines. Because where you want to be efficient and increase efficiencies, this will help you start to think that way. Not what to think, but how to think.
That's right. And start saving money.
Exactly.
We all want to protect our finite resources. We also have expenses that we have to control. And I think we're all aware of inflation. That has increased the cost of everything for everybody, and our corporations and the organizations that we work for are no different. Everything is costing more, and it costs more to operate and just simply maintain. So the added benefit is, yes, we're being a good steward of the environment, but also we've got to be able to get a handle on the consumption of the energy and the other resources that we pay for. And that's also where you can make a difference.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well said.
Absolutely. We have a question on LinkedIn from Victor in Nigeria. He wants to know, how do I get materials for the SFP?
Send us an email to corporateconnections@ifma.org, and we will definitely have somebody reach out to you and get that started for you. And I see
do.
Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, that's awesome. I real quick, if I may, to go back to what Gail was just answering, getting the materials. So our programs have online access. The printed materials are optional and can be for those of us, and I'm going to include myself in this, that like to go old school and have a printed book to be able to read. Everything is provided digitally. There's a digital PDF that you can download to, if you like to have an iPad while you're working on your computer, and so you want to read the material as you're going through. But everything is online. So the only way to get the materials is to register or enroll in the SFP. And we'd be happy to help you with that. But you can also go to fm.training and be able to look in our course catalog and purchase it directly from there. Don't forget your code, which is good through the end of April. If we could flip up one slide, Daniela. I just want to remind everybody those codes. Oh, sorry, 2 slides. Spruce Up 100 for the SFP, Spruce Up 50 to save $50 on the sustainability competency course. What else do you have for us, David?
That looks to be all from our attendees. If anybody else has anything they'd like to ask real quick, we'll pop it on there real quick. Otherwise, I can answer offline for you.
I just love this slide. It's so beautiful.
I do too. I'm going to see if I can show this. Daniela, I'm trying my hand at backstage production. Michael Seneca, my company says, you can't manage what you don't measure. I love that. That's absolutely true. And I think we all have measurements in terms of what we're paying for all of our energy usage, for the water consumption, for everything. Let's see, though, if you're accurately managing it, because there are different measures that can be put in place that will help you be able to cut that back and manage it more effectively. And that's going to show one way of measurement is the money that you're paying each month for all of those utilities. Okay. Anything else that you guys can think of that when you speak with someone who's recently earned their SFP, anything that they've shared with you?
One that I know, I've had people ask once they get their credentials where they can go to manage those.
That's a great point. And what do you tell them?
Well, I tell them that they can manage it through our credential application maintenance program, or as we call it, CAMP.
Yes,
Like
exactly
an easy to
right.
remember acronym. I like it a lot.
Yes. And it is a lifelong credential. So we have a registry that's available online. So when you have it on your resume or your LinkedIn profile, that is external confirmation that you did indeed you didn't just add SFP after your name, that you have learned those items. And then the digital badge will give you that verification of what it is that you learned. There's for a lot of different industries, there's different acronyms, right? It's alphabet soup. And it can be, if you're not familiar with that industry, it might be confusing. So somebody who's looking at your credentials, when they see SFP, they click on that digital badge verification and they see exactly what it is and what it means. All right, everybody. Well, we are concluding our session here. Thank you so much for joining. Gail, if you'll take us out.
Sure will. Yes, thank you everybody for joining today and participating. Don't forget to like us, and so that way we can share it out to more facility managers. And if you have any questions, feel free to send us a line to corporateconnections@ifma.org. And we hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy Earth Day tomorrow.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day, everybody.